Titanic sinks. 4 hours after hitting Iceberg, 866 rescued by Carpathia. Probably 1,250 perish. Ismay safe, Mrs. Astor maybe. Noted names missing. By the New York Times, April 15th, 1912. Cape Race, NF, April 15th. The White Star Liner Olympic. Reports by wireless this evening that the Cunarder Carpathia reached at daybreak this morning. The position from which wireless calls for help were sent out last night by the Titanic after her collision with an iceberg. The Carpathia found only the lifeboats and the wreckage of what had been the biggest steamship afloat. The Titanic had foundered at about 2:20 a.m. in latitude 41 degrees 46 minutes north and longitude 50 degrees 14 minutes west. This is about 30 minutes of latitude, or about 34 miles, due south of the position at which she struck the iceberg. All her boats are accounted for, and about 655 souls have been saved from the crew and passengers, most of the latter presumably women and children. There were about 1,200 persons aboard the Titanic. The Leyland liner California is remaining and searching the position of the disaster, while the Carpathia is returning to New York with the survivors. It can be positively stated that up to 11 o'clock tonight, nothing whatever had been received at or heard by the Marconi station here to the effect that the Parisian, Virginian, or any other ships had picked up any survivors other than those picked up by the Carpathia. The first news of the disaster to the Titanic was received by the Marconi wireless station here at 10:25 o'clock last night, as told in yesterday's New York Times. The Titanic was first heard giving the distress signal C.Q.D, which was answered by a number of ships, including the Carpathia, the Baltic, and the Olympic. The Titanic said she had struck an iceberg and was in immediate need of assistance, giving her position as latitude 41 degrees 46 minutes north and longitude 50 degrees 14 minutes west. At 10:55 o'clock, the Titanic reported she was sinking by the head, and at 11:25 o'clock the station here established communication with the Allen liner Virginian from Halifax to Liverpool, and notified her of the Titanic's urgent need of assistance, and gave her the Titanic's position. The Virginian advised the Marconi station almost immediately that she was proceeding toward the scene of the disaster. At 11:36 o'clock, the Titanic informed the Olympic that they were putting the women off in boats, and instructed the Olympic to have her boats ready to transfer the passengers. The Titanic, during all this time, continued to give distress signals and to announce her position. The wireless operator seemed absolutely cool and clear-headed, his sending throughout being steady and perfectly formed, and the judgment used by him was of the best. The last signals heard from the Titanic were received at 12:27 a.m., when the Virginian reported having heard a few blurred signals, which ended abruptly.